Thank you. I want to introduce Leticia's speech because I think it's a very special speech. Hers is speaking after dinner. Imagine this, you're going to speak to a bunch of people who have already been talking, they're sitting around a round table, and they just had something to eat. Now you've got to capture their attention. That has got to be one of the more difficult speeches to give. To give you a clue on what to watch for, it says the speaker is to prepare an after-dinner speech of 8 to 10 minutes. The speaker should entertain the audience by weaving jokes and or dramatic humor stories around a recognizable theme. It's going to be a difficult speech for anybody, I can imagine. It's 8 to 10 minutes. Let's welcome Leticia.
Perhaps for some of you, it didn't take too long to become a Toastmaster. It took me 23 years. You can say I'm a little bit slow learner. Good morning, Madam President and my fellow Toastmasters. Let me take you to my walk, through my walk of delight in Toastmasters. The first time I heard about Toastmasters was in 1984. Therefore, I attended some meetings, and those meetings left me a very good impression of me. In 2000, I was juggling between my kids, raising 4 children. By the way, they became teenagers, and I juggled more. And studying, and working. So for me, it was very hard to attend meetings at Toastmasters. In that particular year, I was between Japan and Singapore, going back and forth, back and forth. I didn't feel that I belonged in the United States, neither in Japan. I belong in the air, in Japan Airlines. That was very hard for me to attend any meetings, correct? In Tokyo, living in Tokyo, a friend of mine invited me to become a member of her Toastmasters club. I was so excited. I said, of course I'll go. And guess what? I became a member of the Key Force Toastmasters Club in Tokyo. I guess then I was so excited that they invited me to become a vice president of membership. I love it. I love it because to see new members and to step and start talking about Toastmasters, encourage them to become one. I'll never forget the thrill that I have when 4 guests became Toastmasters in one day. I thought, boy, this is really good. I can do this more often. But as always in my life, when I have everything really going good, something else happened. My husband was transferred to Singapore. And I said, hello, I'm doing very good here. Why do we have to go to Singapore? And he said, well, my love, it's time to work in Singapore. I had a very mixed feeling, so many mixed feelings about this move. However, one thing was very clear. I will continue my journey as a Toastmasters. So what did I do first before leaving Tokyo? I'm very bad in computer skills, but that time I was in front of a computer trying to research for Toastmasters clubs in Singapore. It was overwhelming to know that in a small island as is Singapore, they have more than 100 clubs, Toastmasters clubs, to select from. I know know Singapore is like half of the size of one of the islands of Hawaii. Very small. I thought, wow, it's like going to a candy store to start picking out what candy I want to get. I thought, well, this is going to be great. Wrong again. I picked up a club that it was near my home. When I called, I didn't know there was a corporate Toastmaster club. I thought, what is that? I mean, they put me new words in everything, and he said, well, we are not open to the public, but there is other clubs that are open. I'll give you the information you need. So he gave me the name and telephone number from one Toastmasters club, past president, that I thought it was for me the best luck that I found. So I called her immediately and said, hey, and you know I talk too little, right? So talking too much, I guess I got her tired. So she said, how about seeing you tomorrow? I said, okay, let's get together tomorrow. Well, the following day, I became a Toastmasters, October Toastmasters Club in Singapore. She offered me to become my mentor. And I thought that's really good. She understood that my stay in Singapore was going to be very short, about 6 months. We went to 3 years and a half, but anyway, I didn't know, and she didn't know there was going to happen that. So she said, I'm going to be your mentor. And she helped me a lot to accomplish my competent and leadership manuals, as well as get the award from the Advanced Leadership Trust. Well, again, when I was so excited, there comes again another bucket of ice thrown in my face. My husband. My love, guess what? I got finally been accepted. My retirement has been accepted. What? You go back to your boss and beg to give you the job back. I cannot leave Singapore. I said, why not? I'm having the time of my life. I'm the vice president of Toastmasters. And most important, I'm doing what in Singapore they do. They only do 2 things in Singapore. They eat, that means they go to a lot of restaurants, or they go shopping. I learned to do those things very well. Anyway, my husband and I returned to Tokyo in April 2011. I thought we were going to stay longer, so I started connecting with all my friends, and I thought, well, maybe we can return to Toastmasters then. No. In December 2011, we returned to the United States. And we settled in San Marcos, in our home. Well, once again, I said, I need to go back to Toastmasters. So I started researching again. And I found the bilingual Toastmasters in Escondido. By the way, I'm bilingual, so it's going to be good. It was a conflict schedule. So I couldn't continue. I only attended 2 meetings. But I did pay my dues. But it was so sad that I couldn't continue. Then I said, okay, we attend the farmers market. And it was in Wells Resort that I met our lovely president. And one day we were talking about Toastmasters. And she said, why don't you just come to my club? Where is your club? It's in Vista. Okay, I'll go. And guess what happened? I became very good again, a member of the Toastmasters. Let me tell you I have learned a lot about all of you. The list is so long to mention all the accomplishments that I have seen in all of you that it's so sad that I don't have the time. I only have really a couple minutes more. But let me mention 2 skills that I want to learn, that I had learned from you and I want to acquire very soon. I have learned that indeed you can have a very deep, clear, and voice with a good pitch. Another thing I have learned that having good sense of humor enhances your speeches. That's right. It's one thing I'm working about those really good skills. So I encourage all of you and new members to please delight in your work in Toastmasters.
Hello, Toastmasters. I wanted to introduce Leticia so everybody understood what her speech was about, because I think this is a really special speech. I'm not going to go through the steps because she'll have a chance to read these. But I do want to talk about some of the things that I really enjoyed and give her a good evaluation. I really liked how animated you were up here. You didn't go behind the lectern. Yeah, lectern. I got that right? That's the lectern.
That's right.
Roz is always quick to correct me on that. Anyways, she was out here in what we call a power position, out here in front, which is good. What that's going to do is it's going to get draw people in, which is what you want. If they hide behind the lectern, less likely they're going to listen to you. So she came out here in front. She didn't move around a lot, which is fine. It's not a large stage. She didn't have this pacing aspect, which some people that want to move and not moving. Well, it actually looks like a rainbird sprinkler. She didn't do that. That in itself was varied. I think she has a very endearing personality. She's very friendly. You like her. As soon as you meet her, you like her. I think that came across on stage very well. She has a very good variation in the pace of her speech. She could add some more, not only some volume, I think she needs to add more volume, actually continue to add more volume. First time she gave a speech, she hid behind the lectern. I could hardly hear her, much less understand her through the accent. And she's getting much better at speaking without reducing her accent. I hope she never loses it. I never want to see that. I love the accents. But for other people to understand her, she has to tone it down a little bit, and she's working on that. She's doing a very, very good job. One way you can tell if people are listening is, what are they doing? Are they watching? I saw Liz over here. She's like this, watching. That is good. That's a really good sign. That's something that us speakers need to understand, need to look at and watch for. Are people watching us? If they are talking amongst themselves, taking too many notes, fiddling with something, got to change something about that speech. If you see people start coming back, you have to start doing more of that. Keep that varied. I think she did a really good job of that. One final thing I think that I noticed about her is that when you have a long speech, you're not necessarily going to have one full length 10-minute speech, but you might have three 3-minute speeches and stack them like you're building with Lego blocks. But I think that's what she did. She had several speeches put together that I think did a really, really good job. Thank you, Leticia. It was a good one.